No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am absolutely appalled at that. I'm truly appalled at that. Um, on the build up to this game, we saw a fair few of the players coming out and saying, but finally we've secured promotion. Now we can go out there and really just enjoy it. You're going to enjoy. You weren't even picked apart. You just allowed it to happen. You're going to enjoy letting Leeds just run past you and score 4 goals. What? I'm sorry. No, that's not how these things work. All right. I'm so nearly speechless for how spineless of a performance that was. Truly, I, I will struggle to find another time since my recollection of being a Burnley fan in which I've been more embarrassed, more appalled. I genuinely cannot come to accept that. Leeds are a newly promoted team, right? We're supposed to have the know-how. We're the ones who are supposed to know how to pick apart these teams. All right. The first game of the season that we played against them back in December 27th, I think it was of December, we probably should have won. All right, because personally, I didn't find that their goal should have been a penalty, and I also thought that our goal should have counted. Obviously, Robert Jones was appalling. All right, that game we were on it. And that was when I was going into that game. I thought, what on earth? I don't want to play Leeds because we're just going to lose, right? No, we should have won that game. We did excellently, and everything that we possibly could have done right, we did. All right, we had the blueprints. We knew what we were doing. We take it from Elland Road back to Turf Moor, which, by the way, I don't know why we've been appalling at Turf Moor this year. Turf Moor is supposed to be this grand castle that people just don't want to come to. No, it doesn't exist like that anymore. That's not what Turf Moor is anymore. Um, People aren't afraid. Teams aren't afraid to come to Turf Moor. Not now. They might have used to have been. Personally, I've never really seen the allure of it. I've never seen the worry of going to Turf Moor. It's just another ground. We don't have that. We don't have that. Nobody wants to go. Well, I should maybe preface this by saying no one used to want to go to Old Trafford. Terrifying. Who wants to go to Old Trafford when Sir Alex Ferguson's manager? No one. Absolutely no one. And I know it's unfair to compare Sir Alex Ferguson to Sean Dyche. There's no but there. There isn't a but because it's just unfair. It's simple as that. It's unfair. But we have to have some semblance of fear. We have to play at Turf Moor. I say have to. It's a pleasure, I'm sure. We have to play at Turf Moor for half of our games in a season. And when I can't remember the last time we won at Turf Moor, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder how on earth we've done this. Because a couple seasons ago, a few seasons ago, I think it was our second season, we had one away game that we played, that we won. I was against Crystal Palace. We won 2-1. It was an excellent win. I was so pleased because if we hadn't done that, we would have lost every single away. We wouldn't have picked points in every single away game. That season, our home record was the thing. That is what people thought Turf Moor to be. Turf Moor was this place that no team wants to go to because we're going to beat you. All right? No. We've just conceded 4 goals to Leeds. 4 easy goals, I might add. 4 so simple goals. You might want to give Leeds the sort of credibility of, wow, those goals were beautiful, but truly, they were not, all right? We just allowed it to happen, and it's appalling that we have. And I'm sorry if I'm coming across as abrasive and angry in this video, but I truly am appalled at this. I truly am appalled. Oh, goodness gracious me. I could talk for a while on this matter. I could talk for a while on this game. Though I will try not to. Obviously, Nick Pope's not started today, which I think that now means that Bailey Peacock Farrell's conceded 11 goals in his 3 Premier League matches this year. You know, granted, one of them was against Manchester City, and we roll over for Manchester City. But I've come to learn to accept that, because Manchester City is, I'd probably argue, is the best club, the best squad in England, maybe even in the world, right? You can accept that. But when Leeds are beating you to every single rebound, every single second ball, I say beating, that would insinuate that we're actually going towards these second balls and rebounds. We never did. We never ever did. They got to them far quicker than we could possibly even imagine. We couldn't even think of going to the ball before they had already done it. That's terrible. That's embarrassing. That's really bad. Whether or not that's down to Sean Dyche not wanting us to press that, but why wouldn't we press it? Like, the amount of times I saw corners come in. By the way, Leeds are supposed to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team, at defending against set pieces, right? We had a lot of set pieces that first game. Nothing came from any set pieces, right? This second game, we've had a lot of corners, a fair few free kicks. And it's just been simple for them. We're supposed to be these set piece merchants. We're supposed to be excellent at scoring these set pieces. And Leeds they've made it look easy defending against us in the air. The goalkeeper, Meslier, I don't rate him. I don't actually think he's all that great of a goalkeeper. But he hasn't really had to do much with us today. When we struck the ball, it went at him. The majority of our crosses were pretty simple for him. He isn't an excellent goalkeeper. Why aren't we taking advantage of that? It baffles me. It baffles me. And I think the thing that baffles me more than anything, all right, is the first 10 minutes of this game. I was thinking, oh my goody gumdrops, all right? What on earth? We are looking excellent here. We are looking amazing. Wolverhampton 4-0? No! Leeds 4-0, all right? That Wolves game has been negated entirely, all right? My joy is gone from that now. I am, after this, I'm going to be at a level of content, all right? That's all it is. Those first 10 minutes were perfect. All the way up to maybe the 83rd minute, maybe. We were terrible, all right? Terrible. And I'm not even just saying bad. We were terrible. We just didn't do anything right, okay? And those last sort of 10 minutes or so, we picked it up because we thought, you know what? We're losing 4-0, I might as well go for it. What do you mean? What? You might as well go for it. 4-0. Go for it before you go down at all. All right? The point of playing football is to win every single game. Sean Dyche says it himself, right? You're not going out there to have a bit of fun. You're not going out there to pick a point. You're going out there to win, right? Fact. And that's, I understand that's not a realistic goal for Burnley FC because we are such a threadbare squad of players who, realistically, the majority shouldn't be playing in the Premier League, all right? But this is just a different level. If you can't win, all right, which evidently, against Leeds, we can't win. Why can't we beat Leeds? Why can't we beat them? If you can't beat them, at least show some level of want. Just absolutely anything. But we can't even bring ourselves to do that. You know? And as well, at halftime, I went on Twitter to see what people were saying. And I found myself getting quite riled up at the fact that a lot of fans were just saying, it's fine, we're staying up. Yeah, we are staying up, but we've just beat Fulham quite well as well. We've just beat them 2-0, all right? Why aren't you wanting to try to build up some level of culture of victory, some level of culture of dominance almost? This game, we can beat Leeds, but we've rolled over as if we are nowhere near their level. We are. We absolutely are near their level. But I was just a bit baffled that some fans were just happy because, well, maybe not happy, but we're quite content because we're already staying up. we've completed our goal now. We've still got 3 games to play. We've still got 3 games that we want to win. Like, I know there's nothing to gain from it. Maybe a few other million quid for finishing further up the table. I don't know, but look at it this way, right? Man City, Newcastle last night. Everyone thought, no way, is Man City going to demolish them? 12-0, easy. No. Newcastle went out there and he scored 3 goals against one of the best defences in the Premier League this year, if not the best defence in the Premier League this year. Yes, they conceded 4, but they scored 3. That takes bottle. That takes a bit of guts. We don't have that. We don't have that right now. And that's what we're really going to have to build up throughout the summer. Whether or not we buy gutsy players, whatever, I don't care. What we need is an internal change to bring a bit of something about us. Because this season in particular, and I know we've not shown it in the past, but this season in particular, we have not had that level of guts to push it, to really give it some. And sometimes we just give up. Sometimes it's just, you know what? Let's just leave it as it is. We'll go on to the next one. You're still halfway through this first game. Anyway, I've babbled on quite a bit. I'm going to try to do some individual player ratings, but I can't promise they'll be much different from each other. Bailey Peacock-Farrell had nothing to do other than save some goals that just went in. Maybe that first goal he could be preventing from going in. I think the 4th goal, he should stand his ground a little bit earlier. Second goal, you can't really prevent a deflection. It's not, any most goalkeepers, if not every single goalkeeper on earth, lets that go into the back of their net. And the 3rd goal, he gets it chipped over him. It's a well-taken strike. Doesn't really have a particularly excellent game otherwise. Like, he came out and collected a few balls. Does that warrant him staying in a squad? No, it doesn't. To me, all right, if you're trying to push your way into a Premier League squad, you do something about it, and he's just not. He's not doing anything about it. And we know, even from Northern Ireland games, we know that Bailey Peacock-Farrell is actually a really good goalkeeper. But when he's not performing in the Premier League, I can't bring myself to say, you know what, let's give him a chance. No, Pope has to be the goalkeeper next year. If Pope leaves, we leave the Premier League. I think it is quite as simple as that. Bailey Peacock-Farrell is still not quite yet suited to the Premier League. I know he's only 24, 25. Give him a couple of years, maybe. But not right now. Not right now. I don't think it's possible. Matt Loughton, I'm going to give him a man of the match. I thought Matt Loughton was actually really good today. Amongst a team of... I don't want to say anything horrible. But amongst a team of players who perhaps haven't performed quite to their standard today. I thought Matt Loughton was the only player who really looked a little bit on it today. Defensively, he was pretty good. Like, he kept their left-hand side really quiet throughout the majority of the game. And maybe that's a bit down to Josh Brown and whoever was with him on that wing. But I think that's primarily down to Loughton. He kept control of his defensive quartet really well. In an attacking sense, I don't know, he was fine. I think fine is as good as you can go, considering we didn't really create chances at all anyway. Yeah, that's going to be the level. That's who got man of the match here for me. Oh, that's uncomfortable. James Tarkowski, I thought actually was pretty good as well today, defensively. Conceded 4 goals though. 4 very easy goals that kind of just slipped past him. Same with Ben Mee. He was pretty good, but he conceded 4 goals that could have been defended with a little bit of grit. There's nothing much more I can really say about that, to be totally honest. I thought they were good other than the times where they just let goals happen. Charlie Taylor, I thought, was actually quite good. Defensively, he was fine against Rafinha. Rafinha didn't really get into the game all that much, so that's pleasing in a defensive term for Charlie Taylor. And as well, he tried to get up as well as he could, but again, the team around him just wasn't really up to it today. I thought in particular, and I will talk about him soon, but I thought in particular Jack Cork was a big miss today for us in terms of attacking. So yeah, that's the defence and goalkeeper. That's probably the quickest I've ever done it. That's probably the quickest I've ever recapped the players. So yeah, we'll continue. Dwight McNeil started off excellently. I thought, wow, this kid's learned from his mistakes in his past couple of games, but no, he dropped off. He dropped off after about 10 minutes and didn't really come back into the game. Had a few crosses into the box. The majority of his corners went right to the keeper or didn't beat the first man. Some of his passing was fine. He had a strike on goal that was never going to go in. About 3 players were in front of it, and it was blocked by the first man. Not a very inspired performance by Dwight McNeil today. But again, can you really pin all your hopes on a 21-year-old winger? No, you can't, and you shouldn't. That's very unfair on Dwight. But right now, because no one else is fulfilling expectations, Dwight has to fulfill expectations because his expectations are a lot higher than everyone else's in terms of an attacking prowess. So it does feel unfair, but he does have to be pushing it a little bit better decision making. Just choosing better options. But I don't think that was helped by Jack Cork today. Jack Cork, the majority of passes he had coming towards him, the ball probably left his foot about 3 feet in front of him. And when you're playing against Leeds, a team who constantly press, who almost thrive off of mistakes, Jack Cork made a lot of mistakes on the ball today. Some of his passing just wasn't really quite there. As I say, the amount of times he lost the ball from being passed to, didn't really get much time to dribble. Spent a lot of his time on the wings as well, which I thought is why the centre was quite opened up. Yeah, I just wasn't pleased with his performance. And listen, I love Jack Cork. I think he's excellent. But today, I wasn't pleased. And it makes you wonder, is he getting a bit old for this now? No, he doesn't. I think he's still good. Ashley Westwood, I actually thought was pretty good today. I think he's back to his consistent self. He was the only one, I'd probably say, in the midfield who was ever really creating anything. He had a bit of something about him. He had a couple sort of mental things going on where he was getting a bit angry at players, and it was a bit worrying. But you know what? When you're 4-0 down, I can accept it. I can accept you being angry, as you should be. You should be disappointed. The entire team should be disappointed. Yeah, I thought he was good, but again, when you're losing 4-0, you've not played good, have you? I don't think anyway. Josh Brownhill, it's infuriating. It's so infuriating. I don't think I saw him touch the ball since the 30th minute of the game. Like, that's the level we're talking about. Why are we playing him on the wing? Goodmanson is ready. Goodmanson's fit. And we're playing Josh Brownhill on the wing. I think against Liverpool, who by the way we're playing next, and we have fans in. I can't wait for that. I'm sadly not going to the game. I haven't had a season ticket for this past season. But there's going to be fans in, and I cannot wait to see all you lot just screaming away in that stadium. Turf Moor's missed it. Turf Moor's missed a bit of fan. Just a bit of fan. Who was I talking about? Josh Brownhill, of course. Very uninspiring performance. Didn't do anything. As I say, against Liverpool, we have to bring him into the centre, I think. Take Jack Cork out of the squad, and bring him on and keep him on the bench. Have Goodmanson out wide. Have that sort of solid base as a midfield, because I think I really, really, really don't want Josh Brownhill to be oversaturated in that right midfield area, because it'll eventually become into a Jeff Hendrick sort of situation where he loses what he once had, but never really gains what Sean Dyche wants him to gain. And it's so unfair on Josh Brownhill to be constantly pushed out wide. And he's good in the midfield. He's good in the centre of midfield. So he has to be back there soon. If not any game this season, he has to be back there next season. No question about it. Absolutely no question about it. because, as I say, invisible for 60 minutes of the game, and you can't be invisible when you have a winger on the bench who's just sitting there doing nothing. In terms of Vidra, what did Vidra really do? His hold-up play was better than Woods today, I found. Which isn't the sort of thing you expect from that sort of big man, little man partnership. You expect a big man's hold-up play to be good. But Vidra, to be fair to Vidra, Vidra's hold-up play generally is actually really good. He wins headers really well. And he keeps hold of the ball really well. So I suppose that's unfair on him in that sense. But yeah, good hold-up play from Vidra today. That's the one thing I will say. Didn't really have much opportunity. He had that one strike that I think he took one too many touches on. If he'd have struck the ball before his last touch, I think we might be looking at a goal there. But again, it's just kind of just at Meslier, and it's not really all that much of a shot, really, because he's made the angle too acute. You can't do that, especially when you're on your weak foot. It's just you're making life a lot more difficult for yourself than it has to be. But again, both he and Wood, right, hadn't had much to do because the rest of the team haven't helped them do anything. They can't do anything because that's not their game. Their game isn't to drop deep and pick the ball up and push it forward. Their game is to have everyone bring the ball to them and then they do their job. I think they've been unfairly given their due today. Chris Wood, I think really Dyche was right to bring them both off at the same time early, because Chris Wood also really wasn't on it today. Didn't really do much. When he had chances to win the ball and head it, he ended up heading it to Leeds instead of trying to flick it onto Vids, who plenty of times was ready and running towards the box. This was never Wood's game to get a goal, I don't believe. So what he did do was fine, but nothing inspirational, nothing that's going to get you a win. I think is the general consensus of my mind here. In terms of substitutions, J-Rod came on. Looked lively, didn't really do much though. He had a few chances on goal, but they were just they were a bit pathetic, weren't they? They were pathetic strikes on goal. And his hold-up play was fine. Didn't really do anything, did he? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like when J-Rod and or Barnes, I can't tell who it is. I can't tell if it's J-Rod or Barnes or both. But when one of them or both of them come on, the game just stops dead. We're so dud with them up top. We need Vidra in this squad because he gives a breath of life. He brings a bit of something, because when we have J-Rod and Barnes and Wood up top in some level of 2, we have to force things to happen, whereas Vidra makes things happen. I know that might not make sense entirely, but that's the general thing of it. Vidra makes things happen. Those guys have to force it, and generally it's not very pretty. But I must say, I am not expecting us to score pretty goals. In fact, I love that we don't score pretty goals. I love that we're proper scruffy sometimes in that 6-yard box. I love it because that makes us us. But Vidra brings that level of sort of mystery. The opposition team can't ever really know what's going to come from Vidra, whereas they definitely can with the other 3. And it's disappointing. So yeah, you could probably say the same for J-Rod as you can say for Barnes. They both just didn't really do anything. I think Barnes had a header that he just missed. I want to cry. I really want to cry. I'm really hoping in summer we have a bit of something going into our squad, because our bench is in an appalling state, like truly an appalling state. And obviously Goodmanson came on with about 15-20 minutes I think to spare. Had a chance. The ball was flicked over. I will say that was the only thing throughout the entire game. I think it was Loughton who flicked it over. It was either Loughton or Westwood who flicked it over. And it dropped right down for Goodmanson, and he took a shot with his right foot. That was gorgeous. That was gorgeous to watch. Maybe I was feeling overexcited because that was the only thing I actually saw the entire game. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure of that. But yeah, that strike and goal didn't really do anything other than that. He looks pretty lively, but there's no point looking lively when everyone else around you's dead, you know? It's disappointing. It is disappointing. But all in all, we lost 4-0. Should never be losing 4-0. Not against any team. I don't care who it is. Bring me prime Barcelona. I don't expect us to concede 4 goals. Right? Simple as that. Simple as that. Right. It is appalling. And I don't want that to change from the start of this video to the end of this video. It's appalling and it's disappointing, and I never ever want to see something like that happen again, because we've rolled over and we've allowed it to happen with whimper, and it is appalling. One thing I will say though, which is something that I found out just hours before the game, and it excites me as a Burnley fan. It's probably not all that exciting to anyone else who's watching this video, but, and I might get the numbers wrong here, but Burnley only now need to play 3 more Premier League games. So the end of this, so the 2 games at the end of this season and the one at the start of next season, we only have to play them without a red card, and we've broken a record of the most consecutive games without a red card. Excellent. And I think we only have to play 3 more home games without a red card to break Liverpool's record of the most consecutive home games without a red card. By the way, that's excellent. People call us dirty. People call us disgusting. We foul people. No, we don't. No, we don't. We're cynical, but we're not red card cynical. So if we can, I think really, if we're talking about red cards, right? Robbie Brady is the only one I've seen who's had a red card in recent memory for Burnley. So if we can stop Robbie Brady from playing at all until we get that record, I'm fine. Because if you think about it, right, Sean Dyche's Burnley now, we've broken so many records, and that one to me, it might be a bit of a trivial one. It might not be all that exciting, but it's a record to remember, I find. I think it's a really pretty record to have, especially in modern day football, you know, especially with VAR going about now. It's pleasing to see. Anyway, this has been a pretty short one because I have had nothing to say about the players individually, which is what usually takes up a lot of time. But obviously we've got Liverpool next. 2 more games left. We've got Liverpool next, and we have Sheffield at the end of this season. I really can't wait to see fans back in the stadium on Wednesday. It's going to be really lovely to see on the television from afar. So yeah, if anyone watching this video does actually end up going to Turf Moor, I hope you have a lovely time there. And I hope we can absolutely maul Liverpool. Come on, the Clarets. Come on. And if we don't beat Sheffield's 53-0, I will never, ever, ever, ever forgive us for this result today. 53-0. That's the aim. So thank you very much for watching this very cynical and angry video. Yeah, please leave your comments in it. Please leave your thoughts in the comments, rather. Yeah, on to the next one. Come on, you Clarets. Let's go ahead and beat Liverpool, because that is what we do best. Come on, you Clarets.